You are watching the Suspense Squad webcast, where authors interview authors. We are featuring Virginia Vaughan, an award-winning writer whose newest book, Texas Twin Abduction, was released on June 1st. Our panel of authors includes Dana R. Lynn, Loretta Eidson, Darlene L. Turner, Sammy A. Abrams, Hope Welburn, Patty Nicholas Boyd, and myself, Shannon Redmond. Hi guys, we're back. The Suspense Squad with Virginia Vaughan, who has released Texas Twin Abduction. She is one of our very, very own, and this book is great. Virginia, why don't you read us the back blurb so all of our readers can know what this book is about?
This book is called Texas Twin Abduction.
Wait, hold it up one more time. Let's see it really nice and good there. Get a good picture of it. That's awesome. And I like it that it's in large print.
Yeah, this is my true large print copy.
Very good.
And here's the back cover. Waking up in a bullet-ridden car with a bag of cash and a deputy insisting that she's his fiance, Ashley Taylor has no memory of what happened or of Lawson Avery. But with her twin missing and someone hunting her down, she must trust him with her life. Can Lawson save her and her sister, even as Ashley's forgotten secrets become an inescapable trap?
Very good.
Yeah.
Some of us have read the book and really, really like it. And we wanted to ask you a few questions so other people could kind of get an idea about your writing process and the book and, you know, hopefully go buy it. That's what we want them to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are going to start.
Ask away.
Okay. We are going to start with Darlene L. Turner. And we're going to let you start with your question.
Hey, Virginia. It's good to see you. Congratulations. I read the book and loved it. Absolutely loved it. So
Thank you.
Question for you, you're welcome. My question for you is, how do you juggle your schedule between family and writing?
Oh, that's a tough question because, well, 3 years ago, I quit my day job and went full-time so that I would have plenty of time to write. Because I'm also raising two little boys, my two great nephews, who are 9 and 11. So as you can imagine, they take up quite a chunk of my life. And everything was great because I had that time when they were at school to do my writing. And then COVID hit. And now they're home during the day. So it's gotten a lot harder to find that time, to carve out that time to write. But what I found, you know, is I have to be intentional about doing it. I have to just like shut the door. I'm working, this is a job, you know, I have to do it. And it's just very intentional about sitting down and writing, and because it's so easy to let other things, you know, become important. So, and they are important, but this is important too, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I was called to do. So.
And you're good at it. You're good at it. How many books
Thank
now have you had? In it like 15 or something that you've had out there?
I just turned in my 15th book. So this would be my 13th book. Texas Twin Abduction would be my 13th book with love-inspired suspense that has released. I've also done some novellas in addition to that.
So great. Love it. All right. So we have another question for you from Dana R. Lynn. Dana, take it away.
Virginia. I have read your book, and it is, as usual, phenomenal.
Thank you.
So my question for you, Virginia, is I want to hear about your editing process when you're writing. Do you edit as you write, or is it something you do later? How do you work that in?
Well, no, I do not. I absolutely do not edit as I go. I am all about, when I start a book, I am all about getting those words on the paper. That's all I care about. I do not stop and edit. I don't change anything. I just write. That first draft is nothing but free typing. And it is a mess. Let me tell you, it's a hot mess. I don't actually start the editing process until I do my second version of that. Usually once I've hit my plot points in that first draft, I'll go back and start putting the pieces of the story together, because I also don't write my scenes in order. I know that's a shocker for so many people, but I just write whatever comes to my mind or whatever. So then I have to treat it like a giant jigsaw puzzle almost and put the story back together. And so that's when I start doing that's what I do with my second draft and filling in those plot holes. Third draft is all about fleshing out the story. I usually go through it about at least 4 times.
So what does that look like with your Post-it notes? Like, or do you use Post-it notes? Is that how you do it?
I don't use Post-it notes. I have whiteboards. I do my GMC on my whiteboards, and then I usually make a list of ways that I'm going to put my heroine in danger. And I pretty much just start, I have that list of how I'm going to put them in danger, and I just start with one scene and start writing it.
Just all comes together.
I may not know if it's going to take place in the first part of the book, in the middle of the book, and the last part of the book. I just don't know at that time that I'm writing it, but
I don't know how you do that.
I really don't. That is just so amazing to me. It's just my mind is.
Yeah, and I have discovered most people are like, are just like, what? That's just so unusual, but it works for me.
Miss Loretta, it is your turn to ask a question. Loretta Eatson.
Yes. Well, congratulations on Texas Twin Abduction. I did read it. It is fabulous.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
I highly recommend it to anybody. All right. My question for you is, how in the world do you think up the themes for your books?
Well, I don't start out with the intent to write a particular thing or to write about a particular theme. That usually comes as I'm getting to know my characters. Like I said, they'll usually present whatever issues that they're dealing with as I'm writing that first draft. So I don't actually sit down and go, I'm going to write about this today. So they usually just come very naturally through as I get to know my characters. But I do enjoy writing about people who have made mistakes and they've, had things that they feel like they're broken. And also a lot of my books have that theme of forgiveness, second chances, reconciliations, because that's the kind of stuff I like to write, because to me that's kind of real life. There's so many people that go through things like that.
When you're in a different mood, does that change what you write about that day?
Not really, because it may change whether or not I want to write a suspense scene or a love scene or something like that. But, when I'm first sitting down to write, once I figure out what those themes are, I'm going to try to carry them throughout the rest of the book. So,
awesome.
So a lot of your books are series. Do you plan out your series, or do you just take them one at a time?
I have a general idea.
You're hesitating. You're hesitating on that one, Virginia.
Because she knows the answer to that.
She's going to kill me after this.
I do have a general idea when I'm starting a series of what the other books are going to be. This series is kind of a new thing for me because first of all, it's kind of a, ranch cowboys, which is new for me, but it's also focused on a family. And I didn't realize when I started writing it how difficult that was going to be, because I didn't really have those characters that were going to show up in book 2, 3, 4. I didn't really have their story planned out. I had a kind of an idea. But in book 1, in Texas Twin Abduction, I've kind of set them up. So now I have to kind of live with what I already set up in that book. So it's a new experience for me, and I've learned a lot. Next time I'll know to do a little bit more world building, before I start a new series. So.
All right, Hope, I think you are our next questionnaire. So go ahead and ask.
Virginia, such a great plot, and I'm so excited to get to read it. I haven't read it. Yeah, I'm started it. I haven't finished reading it yet. But I noticed this is the first time that you've written about twins in your books. And I was wondering, what kind of specific circumstances that presented for your character.
the thing I love about this story is that my heroine is a twin, but she's also got amnesia, which I love amnesia stories too. So her sister is missing, and she doesn't really know which sister she is. And the hero doesn't really know which sister she is either. One of the sisters in the book had broken my hero's heart before, so he was really hoping for that second chance with the sister. He wants to believe that she's the woman that he thinks she is.
Miss Patty Nicholas Boyd, why don't you ask your question?
My question for you is, as a writer, I have books and books and books on craft. And is there one particular book as a writer that you would never be without?
Well, I think learning how to write your stories is a process that every writer has to figure out for themselves. And there are a ton of great craft books out there. And I never could find one that really fit the way that I wrote, that I could follow step by step. But I have always been able to draw something from each one of those books and be like, oh, I can put that in my process. Most writers, you've got to find that groove, that thing that works for you. But the book that has really helped me a lot is Goal, Motivation, and Conflict by Deborah Dixon. It really helps you focus on those conflicts, what your characters' motivations are, why they do the things that they do. That was a game changer for me. That's one of the first things that I do when I get ready to start a book is figure out what their GMC is. So that, to me, that's my go-to book.
Don't let her fool you. It's How to Be a Serial Killer is the one she needs.
That's her favorite book.
I do have many of those too, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We wanted to just ask you a few questions, and we appreciate you spending time with us today, answering those and talking about Texas Twin Abduction. I'm going to say it again, Texas Twin Abduction. You can get it now on Amazon.com. It is in Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and I believe Target. So go out and buy Virginia's book, and you will have a wonderful read.